Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and I've got about 55 self-published books. I sold between 700 and 1,000 Kindle books a month. For 3 years, I've been writing a book per month, and I've got a couple of books on how to write a book and self-publish a book. Uh, in this short video, I want to share how vital it is to have a professional editor edit your book. There's many indie authors, there's many self-published authors who get a cousin or get a sister or get a mother or get a friend who did well in English or at high school or university, got an English degree. They get a friend who reckons they're an editor. They get someone they know to edit their book. And many times the mother, sister, friend, cousin, so-called editor, edits their book for free. And what you find many times on self-published books is all these typos and grammar mistakes. I'm not very good at English. I actually failed English, and so I always knew I needed a good editor. A couple of my books were edited early on by a Filipino copy editor, and she cost 1 cent a word, and so that was fairly cheap editing for me. And even those books had mistakes in them. I had her edit, and then I had a proofreader go through the books, and still they had errors in them. It came time for me to say, okay, I'm going to get a professional editor. I read a book one time, a Christian book, that I was impressed with the editing, and I got in touch with the author and got put on to an editor. I've since used Lisa, who's my editor. I've used her for about 48 of my books. So Lisa doesn't come cheap. No one who's a professional sells themselves cheap, but you got to think, a book is a legacy. A book is something you leave behind. A book is something that affects people way after you stop writing or way after you stop living. You only get one chance at a book. Of course, you can edit the book and upload a different edition, but once you have bad reviews on your book, you can't erase them. You can't go to Amazon and take down reviews that are saying this book needs a better editor, he should have edited his book. It's almost sacrilegious for people to write books on how to self-publish books, quick and easy way, and then have hopeless editing. And I've seen that on people telling you how to write a book. I've seen hopeless editing. So Lisa, let me share about Lisa, and I'm going to have a link to her website and a link to her Facebook address under here in the description, where you can type see more, and you can read that and get in touch with Lisa. But Lisa copy edits my books, and so she rewrites each sentence. I don't ask for the word file where it shows all the track changes, but you can request that and see all the words that she changed and rewrote. So she totally rewrites my book. Then the second stage of editing, we actually read the whole book over Skype together. So we go line by line, paragraph by paragraph, and one of my books took 20 hours to read. It was a 400-page book, but we read every line of the book, and we change and edit things in that process too. She sometimes changes things and it loses its meaning, and I change that back. And from time to time, I'll repeat things, and she'll ask me if I really want to repeat it. I'm starting to come around to her view and not repeating things as much. And we have a good banter back and forth in that session of editing. Then she goes through a third time and she puts all the footnotes in. She looks up every one of your scripture references if you're a Christian author. She looks up all your sources and puts the quotes and the footnotes and does a final proofread. I also have a proofreader who was chosen by Lisa, who actually goes through our manuscript and gets a third set of eyes on it. And you can be amazed at how many mistakes can still be picked up when you've only had two sets of eyes. Sometimes you need three. So Lisa can recommend a proofreader to you if that's what you like. So I really highly recommend a book gets edited by a professional. Now, this is how you tell a professional. It's their main job. They don't work in another job and do editing on the side. An editor, her full-time job is like a freelance editor. They have a full-time income from editing. Someone who works at a publishing house in a publisher has got a full-time job editing books, and that's how you get skillful. Lisa has edited over 100 full-length books and is a writer in her own right, and for many years she wrote articles and paid pieces on the internet and earned a living as a writer. So she's both a writer and an editor and a proofreader. And I really recommend her to you. And there's an ulterior motive in me making this video. I sort of hope that you contact her and say that you saw a video made by me, and that you tell her that you saw this video and you want to inquire about a service. She will edit a portion of your work to show you what sort of work she does and what sort of changes she does. But I really recommend it. If you're an indie author, if you're writing a book, and you're spending all the time to write a book and edit a book and edit it and do your own self-editing, I fully recommend Lisa, and I really encourage you not to publish a book unless a professional editor has been through it. You may have to save up. You may have to work a second job and save up money to pay for the editing. But if you want a following, if you want people following you and reading every one of your books, you want to do a professional job with your book. And I certainly can't write well enough to have a professional job done. So I encourage you to get in touch with her or to look for a professional editor for your book. God bless you.